What is up, YouTube? Dots Gaming here, and today I'm bringing you guys the Elder Scrolls Online Tutorial Extended. So what this video is it's just an expansion upon the tutorial that can be found in the game, as in my opinion, the tutorial in the game really doesn't teach you a whole lot. So this video is for those who are looking for like tutorial part 2 and want to learn like really the basics on how to get yourself started and what you're really doing inside the game. If you want in-depth beginner guides to really know, everything about the game and know everything really in depth, feel free to check out the beginner guides on my YouTube channel as well as my website, dotsgaming.com. But for those who are just looking for an expansion upon the main tutorial that you can find in the game, this video is for you. So what I'll be doing is I'll be doing a voiceover over a run of the tutorial that I did, and teaching you guys a bit more extra information, as well as talking about some stuff near the end. So right now, when we load into the game, you have just, your basic movement keys, and you're going to learn how to interact and equip items. And just like the other test games, you have your 3 resources: magicka, health, and stamina, just like all the other games. And obviously, you can, like I said, you open up your bags here, and that also shows your menus up top, so you can explore those and see what's there. They're all pretty self-explanatory. And then up top, you have the compass, and you can follow the reticle and see where your quest objective is. Now, I definitely recommend playing in the third person, as it shows you can use the mouse wheel to change camera perspective. I absolutely recommend playing in third person, even though the other test games first person tended to be better. In this game, third person is definitely the way to go. Now, up here, you're about to learn the basics of combat: light attacks, heavy attacks, bashes, and blocking. Now, light attacks simply deal damage with your weapon. Heavy attacks deal more damage with your weapon and restore a resource. So if you use a staff, you will restore magicka back to your character. Any other weapon, like your melee weapons and your bow, will restore stamina. Bashes blocks block skills, and bashes interrupt skills. So you saw me light attack that guy and kill him. Here, I block this guy's attack and follow it up with a heavy attack. As you can see at the bottom right, restore a tiny bit of stamina. Then I use what I was talking about with that bash, where I bash and interrupt the enemy, follow it up with a heavy attack. That is the basics of using your weapon in combat. Now, every time you level up, you earn a skill point and an attribute. So I use the attribute point to put one into stamina, and then I earned a skill point so I can get an active skill. So unlike the other test games, you actually have active skills you use on top of your weapon attacks. So a good flow of combat will be to utilize both your weapon, light, and heavy attacks, as was just shown, as well as your skills. Now, as you saw, sprinting obviously costs stamina, similar to the other games, and so does dodge rolling, because you can actually dodge roll away from attacks. Now, up here, I'm going to show you guys how to really utilize your skills and your weapon attacks. So you're going to see I go up to this enemy, and I do everything they told us in the basic tutorial. I go heavy attack, I use a skill, he starts to channel, I bash him, and then keep using my skills. And you see how quickly he dies? So same thing, I walk up, a heavy attack, use a skill, use another skill, he starts to channel, so I bash, and then boom, he dies. Another heavy attack, skill, light attack, skill. So as you can see, using light attacks, heavy attacks, and skills all in combination is the way to do it. And now, as you can see, my magicka pool on the left ran low, so I'm no longer able to use that skill anymore, because that skill requires magicka to be able to use. It's like a spell. It requires a resource to be able to be used. And that's why those heavy attacks are very important. It restores that resource. And like I said, staves restore magicka, everything else restores stamina. Now up here, you learn how to dodge roll, so you're going to learn how to double tap a directional key to dodge, or you can just press a singular key if you have it bound, which is what I recommend doing. So if you hit escape and go into the key binds, you can bind dodge to one single key. But then after that, you kill this guy, and that's the tutorial. That is really all they teach you, and they send you out into the world. So you really don't learn, in my opinion, a whole lot. The only reason you even know about all the resource return and how to actually, combine skills and light attacks and heavy attacks is because I just talked about it here. It doesn't really explain a whole lot inside of the tutorial. So you just get out, and then Oriandra's here. You talk to her, and that's it. Out into the world you go. But when you do leave this gated area here and you walk up here, you will get your first quest. So this guy will run up to you, so you can talk to him and start your Summerset quests if you'd like. Or the great thing about ESO is you can go off on your own adventure if you so desire. ESO is not a theme park MMO. You don't have to go through the quests in a certain order. You can really just do things whatever you like. I've quested on multiple different tunes, and the questing paths I did on those characters was a different experience for everybody. So it's really up to you on how you want to go out and do it. So as you saw, we were wielding a two-handed weapon during the tutorial, and we placed a skill on our skill bar. And that skill bar had 6 skill slots. 5 of those skill slots are called an active skill, and that last skill is called an ultimate. Now, your active skills will use one of your 2 resources, magicka or stamina. Your ultimate uses a resource completely of its own called ultimate, and you get ultimate by using those light and heavy attacks, which is why they're so important for combat. Now, your active skills will cost you either magicka or stamina. Now, you're going to notice that when you first start, you feel that a lot of your skills do cost magicka. That is the way that most of the class skills are. But the way that skills work in the Elder Scrolls Online is similarly to your character, your skills gain experience. So as your skills gain experience and level up, you can eventually do this cool thing, what's called morphing, and change the skills into being the same skill, but just slightly modified. So maybe it has an additional effect, or maybe instead of dealing damage, it heals. You basically morph the skill into a different version of itself. And what you're able to do with this is a lot of times you can choose if you want the skill to be a magicka type skill or a stamina type skill. So it really gives yourself flexibility. And you might be wondering, well, which one do I choose? It kind of depends on how you choose to build your character. Attributes in this game, the way they work is you can obviously, every time you level up, you got an attribute point, and you can put that into magicka, health, or stamina. Now, the more points you have in a magicka, that's obviously going to increase the amount of magicka skills that you can use, but the bigger your magicka pool, the more damage and healing those skills do, and the same thing with your stamina. The bigger your stamina pool is, the more you can dodge roll, sprint, use stamina costing skills, and the more damage and healing those skills will do. You're also going to notice that there are a ton of different skill lines in your character's skill pane. You have 3 skill lines for every single class, and then there's a skill line for every single weapon and armor type in the game, and then skill lines for a bunch of other things. The great thing about ESO is you can combine all of these various skill lines, the active skills, which do things on your ability bar, and passive skills, which are active on your character at all times, and combine all of these things to turn your character into something really unique and very much your own. So the other thing that we're going to need to learn about today is way shrines, how to fast travel in the game and really move around the map. So when you go into your map, you're going to see this icon called a way shrine. Now, whenever you walk up to a way shrine, you will discover that way shrine, and you can now travel to and from that way shrine freely. So if you walk up to the way shrine and interact with it, you can travel to other places for no cost, other way shrines that you have discovered. Or if you're away from the way shrine and want to teleport to it, you can press M, click the way shrine you want to port to, and for a gold fee, teleport to that way shrine. Successive way shrine teleports will cost more gold, but that gold cost does decrease over time. Another thing that we're going to learn about today is how to gain other skill points. You gain skill points, from leveling up, but are there other ways to get skill points? You can also get skill points by collecting sky shards throughout the world. Collecting 3 sky shards at a time will award you a skill point. So every 3rd sky shard you collect will give you a skill point, and collecting these is extremely important to progressing your character. The next thing that we're also going to talk about is crafting in the Elder Scrolls Online. So when the basics of crafting, and to really learn the basics, you can actually learn these from NPCs in the game. If you go to certification trainers, which actually certify you in these various crafting professions, they will teach you the basics. So I'd recommend going to Melenith, who can be found at the Fighters Guild in any of your faction major cities, and that is Volkelgard, Daggerfall, and Davin's Watch. You can find them there, or you can find her there in the Fighters Guild, and she will teach you about woodworking, blacksmithing, or clothing. Or you could also go to Danel Taleno, also in the same 3 cities, but he will be in the Mages Guild, and he will teach you about alchemy, provisioning, and enchanting. And you can learn the basics about those professions from those 2 NPCs, and they will give you all that information you need to know to get started with crafting in the game. Another thing to help you get started in your adventures is learning how to utilize the quick slot menu. So if you go into your inventory and press your quick slot key, which can be seen at the bottom left next to your abilities, if you go in and press that key, you can actually bind items to a quick slot. So for example, if you have any potions which can be used to heal yourself inside of combat, similar to other test games, you can actually put those potions on a quick slot. So if you hold that quick slot key, which for me is Q, you can move your mouse around and select what item you want to use. So I can select my potion and use that potion in combat. And like I said, to apply that to the quick slot, you go into your inventory, press your quick slot key, go over to your items that you would like to quick slot, like slottable items, scroll down and choose whatever potion you want and drag it into your quick slot. The final thing that I'm going to go over with you guys today is the acquisition of a Mundus Stone. So Mundus Stones are very similar to Standing Stones in previous Elder Scrolls titles that give your character a passive bonus for simply interacting with it. And you're going to want to find one of these Mundus Stones as soon as you can, because it's just free stats that your character gets to make them a little bit more powerful. There's a ton of different Mundus Stones throughout the world and a bunch of different ones that you can try. And I have a guide to Mundus Stones on my website and my YouTube channel, dotsgaming.com, as well as youtube.com/dotsgaming, and you can search for that Mundus Stone guide and see which Mundus Stone is best for you and which one you want to use. But I just wanted to mention in this guide today that they do exist and that I would recommend picking one up as soon as you could. But that is going to be it for me today, guys. I just wanted to go over the basics of the Elder Scrolls Online and really just teach you guys the starting information and just expand on the basic tutorial. If you found this video helpful, I'd appreciate if you left a like on it. And if you have any questions about anything that I went over in this video, please leave a comment below. I also encourage you to check out the rest of the beginner guides on my YouTube channel as well as my website to learn some more in-depth information about the Elder Scrolls Online. But this information that you learned today will definitely arm you to be a little bit more equipped than you would have if you had just gone through only the basic tutorial. Also, if you like this guide and want to see more content from me, I'd appreciate if you hit that sub button as well as hit the bell to make sure that you can keep notifications on to always know what I'm doing here on YouTube. I want to thank you guys so much for stopping by today. As always, I'm dotsgaming, and I'll see you all in the next video.